Hello, history buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Freedom of our future. A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls. To the encampment for freedom of our future.
For liberty. This is what American patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is robbed by. Secure our liberty. My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
Welcome to my colonial home. Today, Del Payne's work captures the spirit of we fight for independence. And our freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Hour is late. We must enact. To the encampment for liberty. Soldiers, the enemy is near. Front line, front me.
Enclave on the border of Morocco, as thousands of migrants collapsed border fences and dodged authorities bearing riot gear after Spain's highest court ruled that migrants attempting to enter the country's autonomous cities by sea couldn't be given the boot. Here's what we know about Ceuta, a Spanish autonomous city in North Africa that's now become a flashpoint for a devastating migrant crisis. A mass deportation is underway in Ceuta, Spain, after an estimated 60,000 migrants stormed the exclave in a tidal wave of chaos. Videos captured migrants swimming to the exclave's shore and breaking through fences to get inside the territory, which has a regular population of around 85,000 residents. Ceuta, a 7-square-mile port city that borders Morocco on the African continent's northern tip, has been in Spanish hands since 1580. Migrants entering the exclave would still need to cross the Strait of Gibraltar if they wanted to reach the mainland. But reaching the Spanish mainland may not be the migrants' end goal. The shocking migrant surge into Spanish territory followed a ruling by Spain's Supreme Court earlier this month, which said migrants intercepted at sea while attempting to reach Ceuta, or Melilla, another Spanish autonomous city in northern Morocco, cannot be kicked out under the enclave's special border rejection regime. But the territory was quickly overwhelmed as the population swelled by nearly 70%, leaving local police, national police, and even an army deployment struggling to keep the peace as shops closed down and residents barricaded themselves inside, afraid to walk the streets. Following a statement by Ceuta's president Juan Jesus Vivas that the number of mostly Moroccan migrants had risen to 60,000 and that 34 people had died, Spain's Ministry of Interior issued a statement that the crisis was working toward resolution. Spanish authorities now claim that about half of the 60,000 migrants who charged into the diminutive territory have either left or been sent back to Morocco, claiming they're removing a staggering 150 people per minute. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez condemned the invasion as, quote, an attack and a, quote, violation of Spain's territorial integrity. He said the number of troops deployed to the exclave has increased, and they are now joined by divers and maritime service vessels. Sanchez also assured the Spanish government is at work, ensuring nothing like this will happen again, and said the country's legislature is working on passing a system that would, quote, facilitate the repatriation of migrants who entered our country irregularly. He added that the government could even, quote, modify existing laws to, quote, guarantee those border repatriations as efficiently as possible.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
described him as one of the most dangerous men on the face of the earth.
Lion roar, now the mountain high. Smoke rise up, touch Jaja sky.
Welcome to the Man Cave. Welcome to the Man Cave. Your girl Nora Christina is hosting with
85 Slim in the building.
And we have a jam-packed night for you. We are going to address the conspiracies, the rumors, and the lies tonight regarding Morocco being behind Ceuta. We're also going to break down what's going on with Anthony Fauci. So everyone is allowing that Israel was behind this. Let me play this clip.
ויש גם ציר סוני קיצוני, שגם הוא מרים את ראשו, ואנחנו צריכים לבנות בריתות פה עם ערבים, ואני אגיד לך עם עוד מי, עם מוסלמים, שלא רוצים לא את זה ולא את זה, ותתפלא יש הרבה. ואתה יודע לאן הם פונים? אלינו. הם פונים אליי.
So in that very first clip, that was Israel President Netanyahu basically bragging that they're going to use other Muslim countries to work with them. Slim, you are a MAGA Trump supporter, Republican, probably the most loyal Trump supporter we have on our team. What is your thoughts on everything you've learned on what's going on? Do you think that Morocco, Israel, and the USA are involved in what happened in Ceuta this week?
I mean, we were talking off record the other day, and you gave me some insight on a lot of things on why you had a feeling that Morocco was doing this. And, it all boils down to the chestnut checkers again. It always goes down that aisle. The way things are happening is a lot of things I do not agree with. But I also believe that things need to happen to actually move forward. You know what I mean? Like, it's a tit for tat. Like, not everybody's going to be happy on what's going on, whether it's the war, whether it's the Moroccan invasion. And what you told me about the other day, I'm sure you're going to get into it. I don't want to do no spoilers, but I started doing a little research, and I'm scratching my head right now. I'm like, maybe this is a good thing,
Yeah, I mean, for me, just so everyone knows, I'm going to be totally transparent. I am half Moroccan. I am from the first ruling family in Morocco, the Idris dynasty. You can look it up. Now it's being run by the Alamoud dynasty. I'm probably saying it wrong, but that's who's running the country right now. So for about 2 centuries, my family were the rulers of Morocco. I am a descendant of Muhammad. I am a descendant of the first ruler of Morocco, although I'm a Christian, let me be clear. But everyone talks about free Palestine. Everybody's cheering for Palestine to be free and, all these countries to be free of tyranny and colonialism. Yet everybody is not supporting Morocco. Morocco did what you guys want Palestine to do. And I'm going to play this clip that explains what Spain did years ago. Many people don't know this, but there was something called a RIF war, RIF war. And Spain used chemical weapons of mass destruction on Moroccan people, and they deformed them. Also, they could fight to remain in control of Ceuta, even though Ceuta, fun fact, because many people didn't know this week, is literally on Morocco's coast. It's not on Spain's mainland. So let's put that out there because we need to do a geography lesson tonight. Let me play this clip. This explains what Spain did to Moroccans in the 1920s.
During the RIF War in Morocco, Spain used chemical weapons, specifically mustard gas, against the RIF rebels. Germany played an indirect role in this. After World War I, Germany was prohibited from producing chemical weapons under the Treaty of Versailles, but German companies like BASF, Bayer, and Hoechst still managed to supply Spain with chemical agents and expertise. The gas was deployed through bombs dropped from airplanes, mainly targeting civilian areas and farmland in the Rif Mountains to crush the rebellion. This was one of the early instances of aerial chemical warfare. The consequences were devastating, leading to long-term health and environmental damage in the region.
So many people think that the reason why this is happening to Spain is because Spain has been a vocal supporter of Palestine and they've recognized Palestine. However, I want to tell you guys, Morocco has too. So like, it doesn't make sense. Slim, what do you think about that clip and everything you just heard?
It's crazy because, if that's the case, there's a lot of karma to be caught. A lot of people is coming back on some karma shit, and that's what it's looking like. And if this is all going to come into fruition, where that is a part of their land and this is why they're doing it, my thing is it's weird because it's happening right after the World Cup. You know what I mean? This stuff could have been happened, but it's weird to that nature. Like, I'm looking at it like, holy shit, like, out of any time to do something like this, it's right after they win the World Cup. So that's weird to me that that's taking place. And they're not going to get everybody out. Let's be honest. I mean, that's basically what happened to our border. I mean, not to that extent, but damn, they came in like that. And now to get everybody out, that should take some time, absolutely years.
Well, let me also speak to the misinformation. 40,000 Moroccans have been taken back. The people that you see remaining there, and tomorrow night, I have a special for you guys. I have an actual Moroccan coming and commenting on Nick Shirley's video that he made. We're going to be playing and reacting to Nick Shirley's video tomorrow night because it's fun fact, it's my uncle, but nevertheless, he was like, how did Nick Shirley get in there already? Like, he was just like, this is weird to me. He's like, how is he already there? But I digress. A lot of the people that are there now are not Moroccans. They're Tunisians, they're Algerians. Morocco's not going to take back people that are not their citizens. Like, would you expect us to take back Canadians or Mexicans in our country? No, they need to go get deported back to their country.
I really want to see how this turns out, because where would they go? I mean, they would have to be supported some type of way. If they get hungry, they're going to resort to other ways of survival.
That's what Nick Shirley is showing, because a lot of there have been attacks and crime that has happened from these people there. But I genuinely believe they are not Moroccans. They are people from other countries. And we'll react to that tomorrow, because the thing about Morocco is Moroccans have a unique dialect. Like, they have an accent. They have their own way of speaking. Like, you would know the difference between an American and a British person. Right. It's the same way with other Arab countries. So this clip explains, why won't Spain give back Ceuta?
The beginning of an era of imperial power for Spain, which made the country one of the largest colonial empires in the world. However, while Spain controlled vast territories in the Americas and Asia, it surprisingly only played a minor role in the colonization of Africa. Spain was largely left out of the race for Africa, which was dominated by powers such as Great Britain and France in the 19th century. It only controlled small territories in what is now Equatorial Guinea and parts of Western Sahara, which it later had to relinquish. Nevertheless, Spain is still the only European country that still has territories on the African continent. With Ceuta and Melilla on the north coast of Morocco, Spain owns two enclaves that go far back in history and are often seen as relics of colonialism. But why do these cities belong to Spain and not Morocco? And why do the enclaves keep making negative headlines? All these fascinating questions are answered in this video. The roots of Ceuta and Melilla go far back into the past.
This video is over a year old, so they've been having issues with the border. I just want to notate that, sorry.
Even in ancient times, these cities were strategically important outposts. Phoenicians, Romans, and later the Moors used the location on the Mediterranean for trade and defense. In 1415, the Portuguese conquered Ceuta and made the city the first European colony in Africa. Even then, the city was an important trading center where spices, gold, and other valuable goods from Africa, Asia, and Europe were traded. However, when the Portuguese king died without direct descendants in 1578, the so-called Iberian Union was formed, which united the Kingdom of Portugal under the Spanish crown, and Ceuta fell to Spain. After several wars with Spain, Portugal regained its independence, but the small town wanted to remain Spanish. Spanish expansionism in the north of Africa led to the Spanish-Moroccan War in 1860, after which the current borders of Ceuta were established in the Treaty of Tetuan. The history of the Spanish in Melilla begins somewhat earlier. After the end of the Reconquista in 1492 and the expulsion of the Moors from the Iberian region, Spanish expansion in North Africa began with the conquest of Melilla in 1497. In the following centuries, there were repeated unsuccessful sieges, mainly by Berber tribes, the Sultanate of Morocco, but also by other European powers. This led to the city being completely developed into a fortified town. Melilla later became famous for the uprising of some of the Spanish troops stationed in Melilla under General Francisco Franco against the Second Spanish Republic, which triggered the Spanish Civil War. When Morocco gained its independence in 1956, Spain withdrew from large parts of its protectorate, which included large parts of the North and Western Sahara. Ceuta and Melilla, however, remained under Spanish control, a decision that continues to cause tensions to this day. For Morocco, there is no better argument than a look at the map. For them, these are occupied territories in their own country, whereas for Spain, the cities are an integral part of their country. But what do the inhabitants of the cities say? Most of the population naturally have strong traditional ties to Spain. They enjoy Spanish citizenship and the rights associated with it. That's why there are hardly any major movements calling for secession from Spain. Ceuta and Melilla have repeatedly hit the headlines in recent decades, mainly because of migration. As the only land borders between Africa and the European Union, the cities attract many migrants who try to cross the heavily secured border fortifications. Morocco, which heavily guards the borders with Ceuta and Melilla, plays a central role in this. In May 2021, Morocco once showed what happens when it abandons its guard posts. Around 10,000 people swam to Ceuta within 48 hours. For the EU and Spain, the cities are therefore also key points in European migration policy, but without Morocco's support, they would be overwhelmed. The question of the future of Ceuta and Melilla therefore remains open. Morocco is repeatedly calling for talks on the sovereignty of the territories, while Spain is strictly opposed to this. The enclaves remain symbols of a historical legacy that stretches far back into the past. That's it for today.
So Slim, don't bite the hand that feeds you.
I got you. So basically, they were supposed to go when everything else went, and they got absolutely stayed. And they still wanted to basically be under control of the Spanish side. But all right. So do you think that they literally coming back to take their shit? Is that what you said?
Yes, I believe. See, and I don't even think Israel's involved. This is the low IQ, anti-Semite, JQ, obsessed with Israel people. I don't think Israel has anything to do with this. I think this was all Morocco. They want their ish back. And like,
damn.
And I do believe, people, Thomas Massey released this vote that happened back in May. America and the Congress voted to send $40 million for security measures to Morocco, which honestly is a drop in the bucket. But guys, I want to make sure that we understand Morocco is helping clear out Gaza. You have to keep in mind that America has taken the lead to rebuild Gaza. Who do you think is going to do that? You think it's going to all be America and Israel? They need help.
We don't get our shit together. What's going on? A lot of shit ain't going to be done. Just saying. Because, we too deep into this fucking war. We still in this war. There's a lot of other shit going on. I don't know. We just need to close this chapter immediately.
Yes, and also I want to tell you guys that vote happened at the same time that Morocco supplied critical phosphate fertilizer. Okay, Morocco holds the majority, 70% of the world's phosphate reserve, and is a major global fertilizer producer. In late 2026, or in June 2026, President Trump declared a national emergency over our fertilizer supply disruptions because of the Strait of Hormuz, right? Okay, and in turn, he announced dropping the duties, like the tariffs on Morocco, so we could send it over. Okay, This facilitated more affordable and reliable access for U.S. farmers amid domestic production shortfalls relative to demand. Moroccan shipments were preparing to move forward toward U.S. ports. So, I mean, you guys are mad that this vote was done. Thomas Massey, you didn't tell the whole fucking story. You didn't tell how Morocco saved American farmers with the fertilizer. I'm sure they gave them a good deal too. You're not telling the full story. So yeah, in turn, Morocco was like, look, we give you phosphate, give us some money towards weapons so we can defend our border. So we can continue to help you over in the middle, you know, in Gaza when the time comes. We can continue to secure our border. I don't see anything wrong with that. You know, everybody, we can't just take and expect people to have their hand out. However, would you rather help a country that can actually help you back or just keep giving out money freely? How is Ukraine helping us right now?
Well, like I said, the logic has disappeared. I mean, anything logical pretty much doesn't make sense anymore. Like, you know, the logic is gone. So coming at anything logically is kind of like a waste of time. You kind of like, you have to play the opposition's mindset and kind of think, you know, kind of like them. It sucks. But to be honest, I think that's the only way to get somewhere. We have to figure out what the hell they can be thinking and try to be ahead of that shit. You know what I mean? But the logic is obsolete. You can't bring logic into what's going on in today's society.
No, you can't. Well, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about scientists push for 4 billion population by 2200. So guys, a story came out. I'm going to try to find it. But pretty much they're saying that we need to cut our population in half in the next 200 years. But I want to play this clip from a friend of the show. Very nice guy. We really trust this guy. He's a trusted billionaire. Let's watch.
This is a very important question to get right because it was absolutely key for me. When our foundation first started up, it was focused on reproductive health. That was the main thing we did because I thought, you know, population growth in poor countries is the biggest problem they face. You've got to help mothers who want to limit family size have the tools and education to do that. And I thought that's the only thing that really counts. Well, then I came across articles that showed that the key thing you can do to reduce population growth is actually improve health. And that sounds paradoxical. You think, okay, better health means more kids, not less kids. Well, in fact, what parents are doing is they're trying to have 2 kids survive to adulthood to take care of them. And so the more disease burden there is, the more kids they have to have that high probability. So there's a perfect correlation that as you improve health, within a half generation, the population growth rate goes down. In fact, Hans Rosling here at this conference in 2 of my favorite speeches actually showed that unbelievable correlation that population growth has gone down. Today, where is there high population growth? It's in the places with the worst health conditions, northern Nigeria, northern India. And so the 2 problems go exactly hand in hand. If we improve health rapidly, we will get the peak population to be as much as 1 billion below the current expected peak. That is about 8.3 billion versus 9.3.
This clip is a very old clip. I'm surprised he didn't talk about vaccines because he definitely pushed vaccines in the poorest parts of the world.
Well, it's good to go back to stuff like that, though. Especially when you see what's going on now. Like, to me, that pretty much said he's like, we need to create something to see who's healthy enough to withstand this shit. That's basically what I'm feeling. Like, we need to create something to give to the people to see if they can hang. And if they don't, oh well, hence the COVID-19. It just seems that way. Like, everything seems like depopulation with this dude, bro. Everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, so this article right here, Slim, it says, how do we ease the world's woes and get back into balance? Well, according to this new study, they are saying that right now we have 8 billion people, and we need to get it down to 4 billion in just 200 years. That sounds maniacally misanthropic and more like a little eco-genocidal, but let's explore this case. Of course, the science, who's probably a pro-woke website, will tell people, yeah, we definitely need to do this. And how do you think they're going to do this? By preventing people from having kids, probably allowing more abortions. What do you think, Slim?
Like I said, create something like a COVID-19. Create like something where you have to get a shot. It can stop. It can make people fertile and basically stop them from giving birth to babies. And I mean, it's just every time I think about this dude, I don't understand why he's involved with science when he created Microsoft and all that shit. Isn't he involved with computers? Why is he dealing with science? Why is science so important to Bill Gates?
I agree with you.
It freaks me out every time I think about that shit because I can't figure out why real people are listening to him. And then when I think about it, you got to follow the money. He has to be paying these people to do what he wants to do. This dude is crazy, man. Bill Gates is an insane dude, man. He's insane. I don't know. You know what I mean? He created a lot of good shit, fine. But when you start getting into science, I don't see where he qualifies, man. There's no evidence of him, even back in the days, qualifying as a scientist or involved with anything biologically that he can actually give advice to the lead doctors in our fucking country, bro.
Well, this is what they're recommending. They said it will ease pressure on natural resources, lessen poverty in so look at the words they're saying, fertility. So again, what did I just tell you? Smaller family sizes, reduce pollution, reduce resource and immigration conflicts. Oh, it'll be great. We'll push abortions, we'll push broken families, and we'll make sure that we have less immigration conflicts. Life in densely populated areas, a more modest population, gently easing population to 4 billion would protect Earth's natural heritage, including its wild habitats, wild species, anything to stop people from having children. What do you think about that?
That's gangster. That's gangster. And you know what? A lot of that shit, they could be putting things in our food too. A lot of shit we eat out here could be, creating that shit. There's a lot of people that been married for years and they can't have kids and can't figure out.
Ding, ding, ding. And look at this. Read that line. Instead, they believe it could largely be achieved by giving women family planning services. Listen to the key word, Slim.
Yeah.
AKA abortions. This is what they're pushing.
Family planning services. So you don't have no family though.
Right.
Just plan not to have one. That's basically
right.
What they want.
In one breath, they're talking about, lessen fertility. And then they're like, oh, well, we want to give women options. We want to give women options. And guess what, guys? They've been doing this. And their family planning has caused infertility, dropping from the fertility rate from 4.08 in Iran to 1.94 in 2001. In South Korea, it fell from 4.07 in 1972 to 1.93 in 1984. For Costa Rica, the decline was slower, for 4.160 in 1972 to 1.98 in 2009.
Crazy.
These are the keywords. So, yeah, they're basically going to do it by pushing more abortions. And like to your point, probably dropping COVID 2.10. Yeah, I agree with you.
And it makes you, it makes you wonder, even autism, man. When I first started my business, my whole goal was to figure out, what was going on with autism. Like, why was it so common? Because it wasn't like that, when I was growing up. You know what I mean? And when I was with my ex, I ain't gonna cap. I was blaming her because she was hitting the bottle. I was like, bitch, you drinking with the seed up in you. And this is why, you know, my son is like this. But I started doing more research. And then if you actually, and anybody watching this, man, you know, go back to your parents. Look at the amount of vaccinations that they gave you as a child. Go back to the amount of vaccinations that your parents had, if they had any at all. You'll notice that number starts to increase basically every 10 years, it seems like. It's like a 10-year increase. If a child was getting 2 vaccinations, they're getting 6 vaccinations. And now to 12. And you got to think, a newborn mentally can't handle all that shit. He just came through like the first 48 hours. They blaming him. And this is how this shit is being created. And now we got proof with this dude pleading fifths. How many other vaccines don't do what they supposed to do? Ain't nobody questioning. We just worried about one though.
Well, speaking of which, Dana Bash and RFK got into it. You bring me into a great segue because we're going to touch on the vaccines. Let's hear what happened with her and RFK over the weekend on CNN.
You are the HHS secretary, and you are talking about things that lead to vaccine hesitancy in this country, and it is something that causes problems for people when there is not anything.
Let me ask you something. Do you see your job as ending vaccine hesitancy, or do you see your job as telling the truth to the American people?
I see my job as telling the truth, and the truth is that there is study after study after study. It's one of the most studied things out there in science.
You're repeating
and it
it
is
like a parrot. You're repeating it like a parrot.
So
I've actually read the science. You don't want to here and debate the science.
I'm not debating this view.
Of course you won't.
No, because I'm not
all
debating.
You know how to do is repeat things that people told you and say, trust the experts. That's what you did during COVID. Now we know that Anthony Fauci, who was the expert, was lying about everything, about masks, about social distancing, about natural immunity, about the transmission from the vaccine, about the source of COVID. He was lying, and you were punishing people for not trusting the experts. And now you're rolling out the experts again to talk about something that you have no personal knowledge of.
Okay, well, guess what? That is my job, to talk to people.
Your job is to
Am I
tell the
allowed
truth
to talk?
to the American
Yes,
public.
yes. And my job
And
is
to
to
be-
get as
and
much
to-
information as I
And to
can. And
maintain
what we were doing,
a posture
what we were
of
doing,
fierce skepticism
what we
toward
were
government
doing
authority.
in COVID and still with regard to these vaccines is getting the best information, the best science that we can, and putting it out there. And sir, what you are doing is causing
getting the best
information
science
to be
from
out there
someone
that
who's
is
lying
not
to you.
accurate.
Slim, what do you think about everything you just heard?
I think he was chewing her butt up because at the end of the day, he was right. You know what I mean? The information that was put out, the information that the media has led the people to believe is the information that tore down the American people. You know, a lot of people is traumatized all during that whole scenario. And now to come to find out this dude was on some BS the whole time. It ain't just the American people, it's the entire world. We ain't talking about just America. Like, we talking about other countries too. You know, Fauci might get slapped in his face. At the end of the day, that's just what it is. Now it's coming out. People have lost their jobs. People lost their lives. There was a whole big thing about this. We had to take a shot to keep our jobs. Nah, man, this shit ain't over with. You don't just be pleading the fifth. I want to know what's popping. What's next? The people that taken that all the people that actually had to take the shot because they were forced to. Yo, that's a reparation point right there. I'm for reparations with that shit. Facts. Word, that's how I feel about it.
I agree with you, Slim. Well, I'm going to play some clips of Fauci because I know you wanted us to. I'm going to play this, and then we'll go to the guys. If you're watching, please hit the like button. we are gearing down for our last topic of the night. We are briefly going to touch on Fauci, but if you want to hear more about Fauci, come back next Monday. Slim is putting together a segment where he deep dives about why we should care more about Fauci. And he's going to tell us why we should. He's researching it. But for right now, we're going to briefly touch on it and then go to our last topic of the night, which is about the fires. And then if we have time, I have a funny clip that Slim has asked me to play about masculinity, because this is the man cave. So we got to have at least one man's topic. But here we go.
They went to the stadium. They sat alone, far from everybody else, just a mom, a dad, a few kids. They didn't feel they needed to wear masks because it was stupid, because they were outside. They all live together. They're not near anybody. Dr. Fauci, do you know what happened to that mom and that family? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
They were dragged out of that stadium and arrested. Those policies were put in place because you had moronic politicians that listened to the words of a megalomaniac who was more interested in having met a Kardashian than the suffering of the American people. And that is you. Your advice to communities like that, to idiotic politicians who enforce those rules, arrested that mom for watching a football game with her own family outside. When that story broke, I said to myself, I cannot stand idly on the side and watch this happen. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate. Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the do you think you were for doing that?
Fact.
Well, before you respond, thank you, Ray, for the jewels. Guys, if you guys are liking the live, support the live. Send us a jewel. Jewel's like a few cents. Come on, guys. You guys, some of y'all been watching for years. 4 years. Support the live. Give us the coins. Send the coins. Thank you to Ray. Shout out to Ray. Let's give an applause. Shout out to Ray. We got to start giving you guys some jewels, some snacks. Thank you.
Shout out to Ray.
Yeah. AB said, I love the live. We'll keep hitting the live. We are also doing a poll, guys. We're asking, how will we reduce the population by 4 million people by 2200? Hit 1 in the chat for vaccines, 2 in the chat for birth control, and 3 in the chat for another C-19. Right now, another C-19 is leading. How do you think we are going to do it? What's your thoughts on everything you heard, Slim? I know you're very passionate about this. Hold on, let me move back from you.
It's just, you know, it started when he got the pardon for me, man. Like, not even then. It kind of started when New York, like my city was going through it with the card, and they had to actually, you know, have this card to go into the restaurant to eat. And even when they had the card, they still had to get up and go to the bathroom and put their mask on. Like the virus was just chilling in the air. Like, oh shit, he put his mask on. Can't fuck with him. Like they really had the world believing that this was the smartest virus on planet Earth, and it destroyed families. And this leprechaun faced dude got the nerve to come up here and can't answer one question. When you got families that was put in tractor trailer boxes, yo, you couldn't go inside to see your family because they were telling you this virus was that dangerous, and if you ain't vaccinated, this and that. And now you mean to tell me you can't answer a question? Nah, man. I can't. Yo, this right here, to me, you got to understand, right? There's only one formula that everybody can utilize together. It's the only formula that can't be created by man. It's called H2O. That's the only formula. Everything else, it could be people that's allergic to water too, but just for the general population, right? Everybody drinks water. Everywhere you go, it's water. You can't tell me that you don't know somebody who's allergic to needles. You can't tell me you don't know somebody who's allergic just to taking shots in general. And you mean to tell me this thing was created within that term for everyone on the planet? Everybody, babies, older people, everybody. That's what you're telling me? And y'all just created it. Nah, yo. Nah, and then when Joe Biden pardoned him, that just was the red flag right there. How you on your way out, but you pardon this dude? So in my mind, what crime did he commit? Because don't you got to be, committing some type of crime to have a pardon? When he did that, I'm like, I'm wondering what this is all about. The only thing I could think of is COVID. And here we are today. Phenomenal.
Yeah,
man.
Here we are today. Guys, shout out to Slim is very passionate about this topic. I love hearing him talk about it. Shout out to my Riandel for the 200 jewels. We appreciate you. Guys, if you're watching, please hit the like button. I appreciate you so much. Here we go.
No, I got the claps going on.
Hold on, Slim, 1 second.
I got you. Yeah, hit that like button. New party each and every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8 p.m.
Yeah, and we're going to switch on over to the last topic of the night. I'm so glad Slim showed up. I would have been by myself. Jesus, where's the new party team? Y'all need to tighten up. We're going to talk about the fires. Let me play this clip right here. Make sure you guys, if you're watching, you hit the like button. This is a very important topic. We got to stay in the algorithm. So I need everybody to hit that like button. Here we go. So, guys, the clips you're seeing is from Spokane, Washington. Over 600 homes, unfortunately, have been destroyed. It is a devastating event. Slim, I'm going to play another clip while we speak. I'll put it on mute. What do you think about all these fires that we're seeing? The next clips are really just showing what's happening while we're talking.
It's weird. That used to happen like every year in California. I think California kind of slowed down in Hawaii. And now it's coming into Spokane. It's mostly on the West Coast too, as well. I haven't seen nothing like that on the East Coast. I can dive into the conspiracy theories and say it's the government, but sometimes I just think it's some kids playing around and burning up stuff, or maybe doing some initiations. It's just weird that it's always on the West Coast, or maybe it's somebody growing some type of substances that they don't want the government to know about, and they start burning it up and shit go haywire. And the reason I say that is because it's always on the West Coast. It just seems like there's some type of labs that they're trying to get rid of, or something, or some type of evidence or something like that. I don't necessarily think that, a lot of people say, oh, the government be doing that. They create the fire. That could be, I mean? I don't know, but I don't really look at it like that. I think it's some stupid people out there burning shit up, or some people trying to hide shit because they could be getting busted and they took it too far. Those be the areas, you know what I mean? Those be the areas where they growing that good, you know, when it come to green and, you know, that other stuff, methamphetamine and all that stuff, that should be up there, man. So I don't know.
That's a good point, Slim. I didn't think about that. I didn't think that's a very good point. It's like, why does it keep happening on the West Coast side of things? I mean, I think I have a conspiracy why it's happening in California. I just think California is just a demonic place, honestly. Like, if we're gonna be complete, I think it's spiritual there. It could be spiritual in Washington.
The devil just in LA chilling, just outside.
Yeah, like I got some facts I'd like to read to everybody about it. If you guys are watching again, please hit the like button. We support your support. We appreciate your support. It says more than 8,000 acres, 0% contained. So they haven't been able to contain any of this, Slim. They estimate over 700 homes now have been destroyed, with some aerial assessments suggesting it could be as high as 1,100 once fully evaluated. 60,000 people have been ordered to evacuate. No confirmed deaths, thank God, or injuries reported. Authorities cleared mostly of nearly 300 missing person reports. About 14 remained under investigation. So potentially could be 1,400 people missing. This is crazy.
I don't know, man. If you ain't right with God, it's time to get right. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just too much going on, man.
Slim said, if you ain't right with God, it's time to get right. They said that over 900 firefighters, including people from out of state, are on the ground, supported by aircraft, engines, and dozens. California has also sent in a response team. Cooler temperatures, higher humidity, and smoke helped firefighters make gains on old trails at Fairview on Sunday, but Autumn Lane stayed active, they're saying. Washington Governor Bob Ferguson has declared a statewide emergency, and the state's congressional delegation has requested several emergency assistance. National Guard members of the state are also deployed. Power outages affected thousands of homes and businesses. An evacuation shelter is now open. Very, very sad, Slim. What do you think?
Like I said, man, it's right now it's about praying, man. I mean, I believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. I believe that all of this is happening because it's in that book, basic instructions before leaving earth. If you don't read the Bible, all of this is revelation. And, you know, I hate to sound preachy, but I'm just keeping it real. Like, you know, all of this stuff that we're seeing is literally in that book. No matter what verse you're reading, what scripture you're reading, we seeing this, and it's all written. So what I would say is just get right with the man, yo. You know, don't put no fear in your heart, because this is inevitable. I don't know if it has to happen or the reasoning for it happening, but I know it's happening. So you got to live through it.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about the men's topic of the night. This was something that Slim sent to me. Here we go. Here we go. Can you see it?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. No, my bad. Here we go. All right.
Oh yeah, my dog.
Go read Leviticus 18 and 22 and see what it says. Go read Romans 1, 26 through 27 and see what it says. I've had people to look at me and say, Mason, don't you know you got to have license to preach? I don't need no license to preach. There ain't no other man can tell me how to preach. And I'm sorry. The Lord called me to preach and nobody else called me but the Lord. My mama didn't do it. My mama didn't sign me up for it. My daddy didn't sign me up for it. And let me tell you something, the most best thing that ever happened in my life is when I let Jesus in the chamber of my life. I wasn't worried about my friends. I wasn't worried about the home. Let me tell you something, that's the best thing that you could ever do. You say, let me tell you something, I tried everything in 2025, but you didn't try Jesus.
Yeah, that part. That's my boy right
You didn't
there.
try Jesus.
That part.
Boy said he tried everything in 2025, but you didn't try Jesus.
Yeah. He said, you heard what he said in the beginning, the very first words, right?
Facts.
Yeah, that's my little dog right there. I got to find him.
Yeah. Well, I played that clip to tee up our last clip of the night, Slim. This was over there in Sweden. Let's watch.
Wow. That's going on in Sweden right now?
Yes.
That would be one country I do not have to visit. I'm good.
Well, you know, they have outrageous immigration issues.
I wonder
really
why.
Bad.
I wonder why. Is their ambassador or their president a liberal?
Yes. I have a socialist. They're a socialist country.
Lord have mercy. And they done. Like, this is what we trying to protect ourselves from becoming, right?
Right. They have because they have a policy where when immigrants come there, they give them housing, food, and they don't have to work.
Oh, that's fire. Yeah, that's fire.
Yep.
I would love, I don't know. I was going to say I would love to live there, but pause on second thought. I'm cool.
Yep. Well, guys, if you guys are watching, I need you to do one thing for me right now. If you didn't send us jewels, you still have time, but I need you to do another thing.
That like button.
Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm gonna need you guys to step your game up because you know the YouTube likes to suppress folks, but I know we can do it, guys. I know we can do it because Donald Trump says,
I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message.
Facts.
I'm Donald Trump and I
Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Hello everyone.
So yeah, I need you guys to step your game up. Or if not, if y'all don't start stepping y'all game up, I need to start playing more sounds of what Donald Trump said.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. In Springfield.
Yes, I know you'd enjoy that. Anyway, Slim. Oh, thank you, Ray Ray. Shout out to Ray Ray. Where's the sound effects? Where's the sound effects? I need my sound effects.
Whoa.
It's just so much.
Big Ray Ray in the building.
He gets sirens with it. He gets sirens.
Yeah.
All right.
That's what's up.
All right, guys. Tomorrow night, before Slim gives his closing thoughts, I need you all. He said they've been making cat oil and sacrificing chickens. Facts. Well, they probably trying to put a spell on our country because we deporting them. But anyways, guys, if you're watching, I need you to come back tomorrow. We are going to talk about Nick Shirley. Somehow he magically made it all the way to Morocco and he put a video out. I will be doing a reaction. I have real Moroccans coming on. We're going to talk about the facts, dispel some of the rumors, some of the lies. But before that, Slim, what's your closing thoughts?
Oh man, good show. You know, dynamic duo. We had to hold it down. You know, shout out to everybody that couldn't be here. You know what I mean? The staff is always loved. But yeah, man, everybody stay alert. You know what I mean? Stay, focused on what's going on. Watch your surroundings, take care of your kids, all that good stuff, man. And always pray, keep God first. New party, man cave.
I can't even match that. Keep God first. Guys, we are in the end times, okay? I need you to open your Bible up, read what the Bible says. Lord Jesus Christ is my savior. Thank you, Ray Ray. Thank you. Thank you. Ray Ray said, I like what the Moroccans did. I got to hold the shirt up. Spain owes a debt. That's what I'm talking about. But anyways, all right. We are in the end times, guys. I really need you to give your life to Christ if you have not already done so. Jesus talked about two things. He said, when the end times are here, it's going to look like the way it did under Noah. And it's going to look like the way it did under Lot. And talked about pride. I just showed you a clip of the pride, the rainbows. He talked about the rainbows. I just showed you all the rainbows and the pride. You support? Yeah, I did. I do support the Moroccans invading Spain. And I want you to come back tomorrow night. If you restart the stream, you can see why we explained the history of what's going on. Morocco's want, they want what was taken. Yeah. Spain is Iran as far as I'm concerned. Facts. Anyways, nevertheless, thank you guys for coming. Come back tomorrow. I think Andre Williams will be here. Fan favorite of the show. So yeah, definitely come back. God bless everyone. Good night. Thank you for
sisters.
We shall not yield to tyranny.
Our cause just, we will prevail. The fight
Hello,
for our
Mr.
rights.
Buffs. Ready for a journey back? Look at this encampment. The spirit of 76 is alive.
Bobby, at this
Hello,
point,
history.
shame on you. Shame on you. Because we are being played as the American people. Our money is funding a war that we don't need to be in. Shouldn't be okay with it. So as long as I have breath in my body and a mic to use, I will be speaking out against this.
A true patriot savors these moments, but the fight for liberty calls.
The economy, we have a global economy. That's why we're a number one economy in the world. I know that a lot of people want to paint the horrible view of America, but, you know, go live somewhere else and then tell me America's bad.
Patriotism is all about. Look at these flags. They represent our fight for liberty. This is what
so
American
freaking crazy to me that we have an conflict with Iran before a single person from the Epstein files has been arrested on American soil.
The hour our liberty is at hand. For freedom is brava. Brothers
Yeah, I
and
was
sisters.
working, man, you know, but it's good to see Rippy out there handling business, man. And again, hey, that's a lot of black Trump supporters, man. I mean, it feels good to see that, man. So I'm...
My fellow patriots, the hour of decision is upon us. Let us march forth with courage to secure our liberty.
A real code. People are getting sick of it. The moment a celebrity steps slightly outside the leftist approved narrative, they get attacked. Chili from TLC gets heat over allegedly donating to Donald Trump.
For liberty. The British advance. We must act.
Our supplies are low, but morale is high.
Then we fight for liberty.
Alpayne's work captures the spirit of we fight for independence.
The
Welcome to my
that said they were anti-war. I think they said no new wars. Yeah, they voted for a president that was not going to start any new wars. And what's funny to me is that not only were you lied to, not only did this man start this and get out of the
freedom. Greetings from the encampment. The spirit of liberty is strong. We will fight for our rights and our freedom.
Just in order to get the Greater Israel Project accomplished, you have to kill people. That's why it's wrong. Killing people is wrong. Full stop. So you can try to make sense of it with, well, it's a threat and this and that. There's no greater threat than the United States empire.
Vocabulary up because I'm throwing out words like hubris, acquiesce, verbose. What are you going to do about the dichotomy of the nuance?
To the encampment for liberty.
And what I've learned, and I'm not a liberal or a Democrat. I voted for Trump the first time, but he's become a politician. He lies like all the other politicians. He deceives like all the other politicians.
And friendly! Soldiers, the enemy is near.
Not only do I love my FBA fam, my Black American fam,
my black people on code, you know, my people that's allies with us, it's part of the fam. I love y'all. I love my country too. You feel me?
The cause to victory.
To victory! These pastries are wonderful.
Indeed, but we must stay vigilant.